One of the biggest reasons that paperwork exists in any medical practice is to coordinate care between the clinic and the other sites of care that those doctors operate in. ASC, or ambulatory surgery center, is one of those unique sites of care that within ophthalmology or other subspecialties in the healthcare industry, doctors have to take paperwork from one facility to another in order to coordinate the care or treatment for a patient. By leveraging ModMed's ASC platform, we've been able to eliminate that need to move paperwork from one of our locations to another.
Welcome to the Innovation and Compliance Podcast, part of the Compliance Podcast Network. Join us every week as we talk with industry innovators who are making compliance to help business run more efficiently and, at the end of the day, more profitably. Here's your host, Tom Fox.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back again for another episode. And today I'm thrilled to have with me Ben Seals. We are going to talk about innovation. We're going to talk about innovation in the employee experience. We're going to talk about innovation in the customer experience. And we're going to talk about innovation in the business process experience. So, Ben, first of all, welcome to the podcast. And thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me today.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for the invite.
Could you tell us your professional background?
So I have been in the healthcare industry for over 15 years at this point. I've worked for a number of different patient-facing healthcare operators. Currently, I'm with Thomas Eye Group, which is a practice in Atlanta, Georgia, but have worked for Cardinal Health, United Healthcare, and Apria over the course of my career.
What's your current role at the Thomas Eye Group?
Currently, I am the CEO at Thomas Eye Group.
And you started to tell us a little bit about Thomas Eye Group. Could you tell us a little bit more, for instance, where you guys are primarily located, how big you are, and they're really the types of services throughout the organization?
Absolutely. Thomas Eye Group represents the largest fully integrated eye care provider in the city of Atlanta. Across 18 locations and 47 providers, we deliver care to over 200,000 patients a year out of the locations and the communities that we're in and around the metro Atlanta area.
And I talk to a lot of people in the healthcare space, from pharmaceutical companies to drug trial compliance officers to physicians to pharmacists. And one key theme is they are passionate about healthcare and they're passionate about their role in healthcare, whether it's literally the girl ringing you up at the pharmacy. She feels like she's a part of the healthcare system and she's delivering service. Would that be a fair statement of your part of the healthcare industry as well?
Yeah, the unique privilege that I have at Thomas Eye Group is I have the opportunity to enable doctors who have some amazing talents as it relates to eye care to deliver sight-saving care to hundreds of thousands of people a year. So our practice spans every age group in the ophthalmology and optometry spectrum. So we service kiddos that are in the NICU needing eye exams as a result of a premature birth, all the way to their great-grandparents who might be needing cataract or retina care as a result of the aging eyes that they have. And everywhere along the way, our organization has the opportunity to deliver high-quality care to save people's sight in many occasions, or to maintain or even restore that sight when necessary.
So the reason I wanted to have a podcast with you was a LinkedIn post you had up a few weeks ago notifying us that the Thomas Eye Group was awarded the ModMed, Modern Medicine, 2022 Innovation of the Year Award. Could you tell us what that award was for?
Absolutely. Modernizing Medicine is the practice management and EMR that Thomas Eye Group uses to help us deliver care to our patients. And every year, Modernizing Medicine takes the opportunity to recognize one of their practices for leading in innovation. And they saw fit in 2022 to recognize our organization for the ways that we have leveraged their products and the partners that they have across the continuum of care to innovate the way that our practice operates and hopefully change healthcare for the better and create a more patient-centric practice along the way.
So one of the things that impressed me was, and you started to talk about it there, Ben, it wasn't just that this impacted the customer-facing part of your business. It wasn't that it just dealt with the physicians or those delivering the healthcare services. It went to more efficient pay, or rather not pay, but billing and payment. So I wanted to maybe go through each one of these and ask you to expand on those a little bit. So could we start with how you're able to improve customer communications?
So utilizing ModMed's tools and the various resources that they have, we've been able to improve the way that we collaborate with our patients. One of the key ways is through scheduling. One of the most difficult communications that patients have in interacting with their physicians is how they schedule their appointments or reschedule their appointments as a result of whatever may be going on in their life. And as a result of ModMed and the tools that they make available, we've found partners that have allowed patients to self-serve in that regard. So online scheduling is a huge tool that we leverage for the benefit of our patients. We've created processes that allow patients to schedule after hours, that allow patients to reschedule as necessary, and then make sure that as they are working to interact with one of our physicians and schedule that appointment with our physicians, they know what information they need to bring with them, how they can work in advance of the appointment to streamline their experience in our office, and ultimately reduce the time that a patient has to spend in our office working with our teams to deliver the care that we desire to deliver to them.
Let me flip that now to employees, because one of the things that really impressed me was you had real cost savings for your employees, and that you were able to actually put a figure to that and estimate how much time you were able to save and really reinvest your employees' time in less mundane or routine tasks. Could you tell us a little bit about the employee component of that communications improvement?
Absolutely. As our organization, like many other organizations, has dealt with challenging staffing environments, we recognize that our employees are one of our most valuable assets. And so we want to make sure that our employees are working at the top of their skill set, just like we want to make sure that our doctors are working at the top of their license. And so working with ModMed and some other innovative companies, Revival Health is one of them, we've been able to find ways to increase the value of the work that our employees are doing. So if they're doing a rote transcription from one system to another, we've worked with Revival and Modernizing Medicine to create automated bots that help those rote transcription tasks be performed by a computer versus an agent, so that those agents can be spending their time doing more valuable work, more decision-making work that utilizes their skill sets and their knowledge to the best of our ability as their employer. And so we've taken hours of work out of our systems as a result of Revival and the work that they're doing to help drive efficiencies through our practice and help our employees be more productive.
Now let me turn to the actual physicians. And you mentioned that the Thomas Eye Group has some fantastic physicians and doctors, optometrists, who can deliver incredible services and literally sight-saving services. How have these innovations impacted their ability to deliver that component of your healthcare services?
One of the biggest challenges in the healthcare system today is just the disparate holding of information across so many different systems. And so within ModMed, we have a unique system that allows our physicians to work on a single platform where they can see the diagnostic testing that they've requested or ordered in the clinic. They can see past medical records from their patients. They can see information and the trajectory or the longitudinal data about that patient's care. And they're able to make better, more informed decisions from a single system, saving them time and effort as they work to diagnose a patient's problem. They're also more engaged with our patients. One of the reasons that our physicians love Modernizing Medicine is it's iPad-based. So if you ever had the opportunity to come visit our practice, the physician's going to be having a conversation with you face-to-face, not with a screen or not with a keyboard. And so oftentimes some physicians are distracted by making notes in a system or by making sure that we document an exam appropriately. As we've partnered with Modernizing Medicine, our patients have given us the feedback that on this system, they feel like our doctors are more engaged with their care because they're having a face-to-face conversation with them instead of worrying as much about electronic documentation or medical record documentation as they were in the past.
You know, I don't think I've seen a physician in the past 5 years who hadn't had a laptop on his lap while he's talking to me. That is really unique.
Yep. So one of the tools that we've been able to deploy with Modernizing Medicine is a program called Nuance. Nuance is an automated voice transcription software that recognizes the doctor's voice during the exam. And rather than him having to take notes or a scribe or a medical assistant in the room having to take notes, the doctor can have a natural conversation with you And using the technology that's available through Nuance and Dragon, we're able to use that to populate the health record. And then the doctor can go back and check that once they've finished their exam, rather than being worried about documenting that exam while they're in the room with you.
You mentioned one of, I would have to say, key components of a healthcare practice is the paperwork.
Yep.
And typically that is for a couple of reasons. One is to document patients' conditions, but it's also for the regulators or those who may be paying you, whether that's an insurance company or others. Let me turn to the regulators or those who might have an occasion to audit you. Do these systems, are they fully auditable so that if someone does come knocking and wants to look at your records, you can show them an audit trail to confirm what you've said?
Yes, we have keystroke audits on every user that's in the practice. We're able to deliver that and have actually worked with the OIG and the OCR on investigations over the past few years as we've been on ModMed, and been able to work with them and give them the evidence that they need on the reliability and the compliance of our system, as well as our ability to track, manage, and oversee those tasks that require our compliance team to have the proper oversight.
You also found improvement in something called ASC. First of all, could you tell us what ASC is and what's been the improvement in that experience, both for the physician and the customer around that?
One of the biggest reasons that paperwork exists in any medical practice is to coordinate care between the clinic and the other sites of care that those doctors operate in. ASC, or ambulatory surgery center, is one of those unique sites of care that within ophthalmology or other subspecialties in the healthcare industry, doctors have to take paperwork from one facility to another in order to coordinate the care or treatment for a patient. By leveraging ModMed's ASC platform, we've been able to eliminate that need to move paperwork from one of our locations to another. That the ModMed's ASC system is fully integrated with our practice management system and allows our doctors to move from their clinic environment where they're on an iPad into the ASC where the ASC staff is on an iPad, and there's little to no paperwork that has to be transferred in between. Even the consents and information that our patients are required and should have access to consent to the care that they're receiving, that can all be done electronically, either emailed to the patient, or we can, if the patient requests, print that out and make that available to them after they sign those consent paperworks on an iPad or on an electronic device.
I have a privacy and data protection podcast. And in the data protection podcast, my co-host would tell you, anytime you physically move paper, you're at high risk for losing data. Having that not in paper form moving is probably also a big plus for your data protection requirements.
For our compliance program, our compliance officer loathes when we print paperwork because that's where things go wrong. They get faxed to the wrong person, they get mailed to the wrong person, they get seen by the wrong person. If it's never extracted out of the system and put in paper, it dramatically reduces our risk as an organization.
You've also had innovation in billing and payment, and every business needs to have that to survive, but you've been able to help smooth that out and make it more efficient. Could you tell us how ModMed was able to help you with that component of your business as well?
There's a couple key points where our practice management system has helped us accelerate our revenue cycle. The first is the way that they process the clinical encounters that we have in our clinics and transfer that into a claim to the insurance company. That process and the innovation that they've created around the integrations they have with payers, the third parties that they're using to clear those claims and work with those clearinghouses, have helped us reduce our initial denial rate by about 50% since we implemented their system. So the number of claims that our revenue cycle team has to touch at the onset of claim generation is down to less than 1.75%. On the patient AR perspective, using the collaborative tools that ModMed makes available, one of the unique features that they have is text to pay. Every person I know of, probably 95% of the patients that enter our practice have a cell phone in their hand and have the ability to process payments or generate payments on a cell phone. We can shave days off of our patient AR by sending a text message to a patient the day that their claim adjudicates with the insurance company, so that we can tell them, hey, according to your insurance company, you have a balance, you owe us X, and would you like to remit payment? And so we've seen a dramatic adoption of the text to pay feature. People just don't open mail anymore. That standard way of delivering statements and waiting for somebody to go online or mail you a check back or whatever that may be. It's costly to print all of that, mail it, and the like. And so the ability to text patients real time, have a cadence of communication, and ask for receipt of those payments has delivered significant results for our revenue cycle team.
That may be the most impressive answer you've given, because it is really integration with the payors all the way to the payment cycle. But equally as important is claims management, to
Yeah.
drop the number of claims to that percentage that are truly in dispute has got to be a huge benefit, not simply in terms of time saving, but cost savings by not having to have people deal with that all the time. Would that be a fair assessment?
Absolutely. The custom programming that we can do on claim edits to ensure that the right claims get out, and that if we're missing a dot on an I or forgot to cross a T, that we get it loaded the first time so that we don't have to rework that claim, has dramatically improved our revenue cycle and gives us an extremely impressive cost to collect across our organization. So as we benchmark ourselves against our competitors, we think we're about 20% more efficient with the staff that we have in our revenue cycle team. So always impressed with the team there and the leadership that we have there that continues to run a tight revenue cycle.
Could you talk about your collaboration or partnership with ModMed? Because it almost seems like there's something symbiotic going here in terms of you working with them, not only to assess your needs, delivering a solution, but modify that solution almost on a continuous basis so that you go from continuous monitoring to continuous improvement.
Yeah, this goes back to one of the reasons we chose Modernizing Medicine. We were looking for a partner. We knew that as we replaced practice management and EMR systems, they are essentially the nervous center of a practice. They touch everything. They give you a pulse on everything. The data they collect shows you and gives you insight onto everything going on in the practice. And unfortunately, some systems don't give you that insight or that visibility. But as we interviewed potential partners, Modernizing Medicine really demonstrated that they wanted to be a partner and not just a vendor. They asked us for feedback throughout the process. They've always continuously asked us for feedback about the product, even since we implemented it. They give my leadership team and our organization the voice to speak into future product development and the roadmap for their organization so that we can help them help our practice be more efficient, be more effective, and find ways to innovate. And so it's been a collaborative approach ever since we started the vetting process back in 2018, looking for new software systems to help us run our practice, all the way through Momentum, where we got the opportunity to, again, share our feedback about the product and where we think it needs to make improvements. Every leader in ModMed is dedicated to helping their clients be more effective at delivering healthcare, which is why we thought they were the best partner for us.
So let me ask you to turn your head to the left and maybe down the road a little bit.
Sure.
And see, are there any innovations that you hope to bring to the Thomas I Group, or general industry innovations that might be the next step beyond where we and you and the industry are now?
Yeah, I think that starts with, I know you're a historian at heart as well, so that starts with looking at the past. And I think the recent past tells us that consumers are going to adopt technology at a faster rate than companies can keep up with. And so our organization has to be looking for ways to adopt technology to help consumers choose Thomas I Group over our competitors. And so taking that customer-centric approach to the care that we deliver, really looking for opportunities to streamline our customers' experience. You know, we just came out of Black Friday, which was another record-breaking online sales day for that industry. And they set the tone for what patients start to expect in our practice. And so we have to look to the Amazons and the online retailers of the world to see how they deliver great customer care, how they deliver a great customer experience, and make sure that we are setting a high bar for our customers so that when they choose our organization, they're choosing an organization that values their time, their outcomes, their experience, and shows that we value that over our competitors.
Ben, unfortunately, we are near the end of our time for this episode, but I was wondering if our listeners wanted any more information on any of the topics we've touched on. What would be the best place for them to go?
Best place would be to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Benjamin Seals is my LinkedIn handle. Reach out. Would love to connect and continue the conversation, and appreciate the time that we've had today to discuss Thomas I Group and Modernizing Medicine.
Ben, I look forward to continuing this conversation.
If you want to stay up to date on the latest innovations in compliance and help your business run more efficiently, subscribe to this podcast and help spread the word by leaving a review.